Hey, what's going on, YouTube world? Fellow drivers, it's Sebastian with Spin Driving School. Today we are going to talk about two-way, four-way, and three-way intersections, commonly known as stop signs, and some one-ways as well. Those are a little bit more old school maybe, but they still do exist. So just your basic intersections. All right, so first and foremost, probably the most common intersections we are going to encounter are your two-ways and four-ways. So the way you go through those is your four-way intersections, which are probably a lot easier than any other ones, is the car that stops first gets to go. So the first car to get to the intersection wins, so to speak, which doesn't mean you want to get to the intersection faster than the other car. If you arrive first, you should go first, and then it's going to be the car on your right-hand side. However, as it always goes with driving, safety always wins. So if someone cuts you off, if someone doesn't make a full complete stop, if someone is not about to stop, not to stop rather, anything along those lines, if someone is impeding your right of way or infringing upon your safety, violating your safety in any manner, regarding driving, that is, make sure that you just yield and let them go. Move that potential danger out of the way, and then you'll be arriving through the intersection 2 seconds later. No big deal. So that's the way it goes for all intersections. Two ways are a little bit more different. You can argue that if there's two cars across from each other, the car that got there first should go first. Obviously, the side coming traffic will always have the right of way, so anyone without the stop sign, that is including pedestrians and cyclists. So pedestrians always win, doesn't matter what intersection you are in. Regarding two-way and four-ways, that is, pedestrians pretty much almost always will have the right of way, as long as there's sidewalks and marked or unmarked crosswalks. So pretty much most four-way and two-ways intersections are going to be crosswalks anyway. So pedestrians win no matter what. Then cyclists possibly, and then other cars. So I usually teach my students, if you're going straight and the other car is turning left, just let them go. The car going straight, that is. But those battles can be fought many different ways. Sometimes the other cars will yield to you, they'll flash their high beams or whatnot, so pay attention to that as well. But anyways, we're going to go through a couple of videos and some scenarios, so we can also talk about these scenarios that I mentioned earlier. So let's just get right to it. Okay, so first let's get into these signs again. So there's your basic two-way intersection. So as I said, I would let the car B go first. In this case, it's car A. Let's say you arrive at the same time. That's just the way I do it. But this four-way, obviously the car with a red arrow would have the right of way. In this case, if you stop both at the same time, because that is the vehicle on the right-hand side, that's what the term right of way means. In this scenario, obviously the blue car wins because that is the closest car to the intersection. So if you had a four-way stop, again, this is the way it works. So we're going to start with some three-ways first. There's your kind of a basic three-way, I guess. So three-ways are treated the same as four-ways. The car that gets there first gets to go first, or the car on your right-hand side. So I was there second, I get to go second. And there's another three-way. In this case, there are pedestrians crossing, so they have the right of way. You always are scanning these intersections regardless. These pedestrians also could have crossed in front of me as well, so in that case I would have yielded. I scan both ways, shoulder check, and then off you go. In this case, we have a through intersection. So at these intersections, you do not have to stop unless obviously a safety, again, is being infringed upon, or if there's people crossing. You always scan them. You should be scanning all intersections. It just makes things safer for you and everyone else. As always, full stop at the line. If you can't see, don't go. Inch forward. Maybe you're going to stop again, possibly 2 or 3 times in these situations. Once you know that it's safe to go, then you proceed with your turns, but you're always scanning both ways. So at two ways, you may have to stop, once or twice. This is basically a one-way intersection. So again, full stop at the line. If you can't see, we're going to inch forward. We're going to slowly also start turning our wheels closer to the right. This will improve our visibility, and then onward we go. Here's a three-way coming up. So full stop at the line, pedestrians crossed. quick scan, shoulder check, if you will, and then off we go, proceeding through the intersection. So at 3-ways and 4-ways, you should only be stopping once. You should never be inching forward at a 3-way or 4-way intersection. Stop once, scan, go when it's safe or when it's your turn. 2-way, stop at the line, scan both ways. In this case, you don't really have to inch forward too far because the visibility is pretty good. So we're just going to proceed forward. You can also scan these intersections as you're inching or rolling. You don't always have to come to a full complete stop the second time. The first time, absolutely. Again, through road or through intersection, scanning both ways, not stopping, just going straight through, only slowing down or stopping for pedestrians if they're crossing. Here's another 2-way, coming up to the line, scanning both ways, full stop. If we can't see, we'll just keep inching forward, keep scanning, possibly stop again. In this case, visibility is pretty good, just continuing forward. If it's clear and safe, don't sit there for too long. 2-way, looking to the left for the traffic, making sure there's no one crossing. There's a car, so that's why you always want to make sure that you possibly stop again, maybe second, third time. Don't just stop at the line and go, because that's how accidents happen. Make sure that it's clear, because that guy has the right of way, not you. You have a stop sign. 4-way, full stop, scan both ways. In this case, we're making the left turn. Off we go. No problems. And sometimes these intersections can be pretty congested, and a lot of road rage actually happens at these 4-ways. So just be patient. At the end of the day, it's better to get there safe and alive as opposed to get into some sort of altercation over a 4-way stop sign. That's just ridiculous. Full stop, scan both ways, proceed when it's clear and safe and when it's your turn. Off we go to the next one. Another 4-way. So this is just a series of 4-way stops. Full stop, scan both ways. We're the next in line. That's a rolling stop right there on the right side, but most people don't stop fully completely, so tragically hit. Again, 4-way stop, full stop, scan both ways, onward, proceed. Very straightforward. These are your basic intersections. So if you're learning how to drive, this is kind of what you should be starting with. Through road, we're making a left turn here. There's a stop on the left. There's a stop sign on the right-hand side. Those are not for us. We're only stopping in this case if there's oncoming traffic or if there are people crossing. In this case, there are none. We are just slowing down. We're making our left turn. We essentially have the right of way in this case. So the other cars will stop and remain stopped until we leave. Another 2-way, full stop, scanning both ways. Inch forward if you can't see. Obviously, you don't want to inch forward too far. Make sure you always inch forward in the straight line. If you're going straight or left on these right turns, you always want to pre-turn your wheels to the right side if you're inching forward at these 2-way stop signs or possibly even a red light. Left turn here, 4-way. In this case, we have some people on the road, but they're just checking out the beautiful cherry blossoms, which is always an interesting time of the year in Burnaby or just Vancouver area. Again, through road, no need to stop. If you want to slow down there, that's fine, but you don't really need to slow down too much or too significantly. Definitely do not stop. If you make a hard stop in that case, in that situation, you will fail your road test or get into an accident, cause one. 4-way stop. In this case, we have pedestrians crossing, so they absolutely have the right of way. We'll stop, let them proceed, and then we will continue through the intersection when it's safe. You don't really have to wait for them to get to the sidewalk, unless they make a U-turn, but it's always possible. So if you want to, give them space. Left turn, through road. And here's last video. So 4-way stop, I was here definitely first. This car on my left just rolls right through. That's fine. Just let them go and live my life 3 seconds later. So there you go. Hope that helps. Make sure that you make those full complete stops. Scan all intersections. Don't go if you can't see. Keep inching forward. Keep looking left and right. And be safe and do not cut people off. And if you do cut someone off, accelerate, create some space and distance. So stay tuned for more videos and stay safe out there. Take care.